But paying with love is what some customers are doing at McDonald's across the country. Statistics show that more than half of college students have been involved in some type of campus hazing. The Thundering Herd is looking for a new sidelines leader, someone who is full of energy, smooth on the dance floor, and pretty furry. Students were out building snowmen, having huge snowball fights, sledding, doing all the fun things you would want to do when you were a kid, when you had a day off of school. One thing that Evan Jenkins has been saying since day one is that West Virginia needs to see a change. And they're going to keep fighting until they get what they want, and that is a Conference USA championship. Three very different candidates all share one common goal: to represent all the students of Marshall University. When you think of choir music, you don't normally think of Taylor Swift or even the Beatles, but this ensemble wants to do something that excites them and excites those around them. The last thing that any student needs to be worried about is being able to afford a meal plan or not being able to afford groceries on a day-to-day basis. A woman with a knife demands money from a nonprofit. Her crime spree across town. A business owner, a fiance, and a soon-to-be father are some of the words that can describe Rodolfo Magana, known to his friends as Rudy. Police say Rudy was shot and killed outside his home on Holderby Drive. Neighbors heard gunshots and called 911. No arrests have been made at this time. Rudy drove home from work, but this time he didn't make it in the door before he was shot and killed, while his pregnant fiancée, Emily Miles, was waiting for him inside. Emily describes him as gentle, soft-spoken, and kind-hearted. Emily is very active on social media, begging anyone with information to come forward. Police Chief Joe Ciccarelli says HPD is currently waiting on forensic evidence from the autopsy report to come back.
You know, one of the steps that we're taking here at the police department is to create a cold case investigative squad so that we have dedicated officers who are assigned to look at these unsolved serious crimes and to continue to move those forward.
Right now, Ciccarelli says there are no suspects, which makes community members uncomfortable, as a murderer is still on the loose.
It's pretty terrifying, especially for me being from Huntington, not being somebody who had just come here. And in all my years that I've grown up here and been here, it's nothing that I've ever had to face or wrap my head around.
For now, Emily continues to plead for answers via social media, asking anyone to give tips they may have.
So she wobbles a lot, kind of like Parkinson's for dogs.
2 miles down a one-way street sits an animal shelter that stands out from the rest. Little Victories is a no-kill shelter where people from all over come to adopt dogs, but there are a few who often get overlooked.
They were brought here at like 6 months of age, and they're 5 now, so they've been here basically their whole lives.
Dogs like Daisy, who has spent a long time in one of these cages.
She actually has been here pretty much her entire life.
And Layla, who's been here for 5 years.
They're really good dogs, it's just they never get the attention that they deserve.
And the attention seems to stay on the younger dogs.
A lot of people come, they want puppies.
But once the puppies are gone, the veterans of the shelter continue to stake claim on their cages, while the workers depend on the community to keep these dogs fed and sheltered. Little Victories runs solely on donations. All the food that you're seeing in this room was donated around Christmas time, and they say that so much is coming in, they can't even keep count. With the help of the community, these dogs live their lives at Little Victories, but staff says this house is not a home, and every dog deserves a chance to live outside of a cage. Morgan Wright, MU Report. A name every Marshall football fan knows, Rakeem Cato. But Michael Birdsong and Gunnar Holcomb are 2 names fans might be getting familiar with this next season, as they are competing to be Marshall's new quarterback.
This is a new team. You're not Rakeem Cato. You're your own person. Cato was a remarkable quarterback. He did a lot of good things here, but if you try to go out and replace him and be him, you're gonna mess up. Birdsong
is a transfer student from James Madison, where he was a starting quarterback for a season. He says the most important quality he sees in a quarterback is leadership.
I don't really get down too much, so I'm always kind of upbeat. I'm always, shake it off. Let's just go. I'm not going to yell at my guys. I'm not going to, get on their case. Everybody makes mistakes. I'm going to try to pick them up, and I'm going to try to get them, going.
Holcomb was Marshall's second-string quarterback behind Rakeem Cato last season, which he says he can use to his advantage.
I think that'd be my biggest edge is experiencing the offense and knowing what they expect.
Although they are competing for the top spot, both Birdsong and Holcomb can agree on one thing. Their passion is Marshall football.
Just the history and all the success they've had. The quarterbacks that have come through here, they've got a long line of them, and I just want to go out and be the best me I can be.
The fans here, they really care about this team, so that's why I want to play for something like that.
The final quarterback decision will be made based on performance during the spring season. Morgan Wright, MU Report. Think about it. What is it you spend 90 minutes a day doing? Cooking? Cleaning? Well, it turns out more than 50 million people spend it swiping left or right on their cell phones, and they're all just looking for love.
It was kind of started as a joke. A bunch of my friends were on there just having a good time.
I just did it as like something fun to do and see like people around me.
Tinder, the dating app that has exploded since it came out in 2012, has taken our generation by storm. What some people say started as a joke could actually turn into long-lasting relationships.
I'm currently in a relationship of over a year now where we actually met on Tinder.
Or relationships that make you want to run for the door.
Well, he became a little creepy and demanding.
The app matches users based on location, and from there, the user has the opportunity to like or pass by swiping right or left. The app processes more than 1 billion swipes left and right daily and is vastly approaching 50 million active users. On average, users log into the app 11 times a day. Women spend as much as 8.5 minutes swiping left and right during a single session, and men spend 7.2 minutes.
My sorority sisters thought he was going to be like a killer or some type, so they came with me.
It's always important to take safety precautions when meeting someone you met online for the first time. Meet them in a public place, drive separately, and have an emergency contact on standby. The makers of Tinder have now created Tinder Plus, where users have unlimited swipes and they can rewind their pics just in case they change their mind.